Just unless you in my reason. Remember as a child, I hated Christmas. That's the worst season. The only gift I ever got was free.
Yo, it's the Rogue
Yo, what's
Soul
going on, man?
Podcast.
Rocky!
Ooh, starting it up, starting it up.
Man.
How you feeling? How you
Back on
feeling,
my
man?
bourbon today. I'm back on my bourbon. Yeah, I see the champagne was fucking me up the last week, man. Goodness gracious. That's why I
Champagne
got to
get the
stick to the
smack in the mouth,
alcohol.
you know?
Hey, pause that. Pause that.
Whoa. It's
I
too
said you
early.
got to pause
It's too
that, bro. Don't
early
be
for that.
saying your shit, hit me smacking in the
Whoa.
mouth and shit. Don't be saying that. But I'm all right, though. I ain't going to hold you, you know. Like, I'm all,
Shorty is
can't
right.
complain.
You
It's,
straight, yeah.
you know what I mean? It's Saturday. Good morning. Nice little vibe. I like the cold weather, man. Most people don't like this cold weather. I fuck with it, you know.
I can't relate to the
And your
cold weather.
jackets.
I can't relate to the cold
You a
weather right now.
Florida guy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm down in this Florida weather where it's real nice. We don't got to deal with the cold.
Hey, I ain't gonna hold you. Don't you get tired of that though? You'll never get to wear nice jackets, man.
I don't know, cause at night you could wear the hoodies and stuff. Like I wear hoodies, and then like you get used to the heat. Eventually, you just gonna stop
But you
wearing.
grew up wearing steep tex and shit, my nigga. Like you going from steep tex
I
to
ain't gonna
like,
hold you. I don't miss the cold whatsoever. Like
oh, you know,
think
okay.
about it. You come outside with shorts. You come outside whatever you want every day. Then you go back. I like enjoy going back during the holidays and feeling like the cold weather because then it remind me of the past. But like, nah, I'm cool. I'm cool in this heat. You did swimming every day, 365.
Hey, I was about to say, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. It's like you always on vacation, 365, man.
Hey,
365.
roll to that. Roll. Hey.
Roll to that to the vacation 365. I feel that. I mean,
What we talking about today, man?
man, today it's been a lot on my mind, dog. But
Uh-oh.
honestly, the most thing that's just, you know, just been just irking my nerves, man, is just that, you know, I just want to understand what is the fascination behind like struggling, like, or basically
Honestly.
being from somewhere that you're not. Because, you know, I just obviously we know now, you know, as we get older, like people aren't really, well, the older I suspect that like the older you get, that like the less you'll want to be into some like street shit. But it seems
Yeah.
like the older niggas getting, the more street that they becoming. Like y'all niggas is picking the wrong time. You don't miss your time to be in the streets, okay?
And the thing
But
is, they didn't go through like college, get a degrees and everything. Then when they come home, want to jump off the porch, and it's like, bro, you don't even have to live this life at all.
and I think the interesting part about it is because I was talking with my man, and you know, I was just like, you know, I don't think people really understand like what like struggling looks like unless you really been in it. Because, you know, I remember I told this story before, but I remember when I first got to college and I had told him, you know, I got my first apartment. All my friends, when I told them, yeah, it's my first time having my own bedroom, it was just such a shocker. You know what I mean? Like they was like,
Yeah.
huh? Like basic shit, like having your own room to yourself. Like I lived in a 1 bedroom apartment my whole life. Me and my mom shared a room. Like I was on the couch, she had a bedroom, you know?
And
So it
that
was
and that's
like,
okay, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Now I was just gonna say that's kind of, and it's like fascinating too because when I went to college, you just sharing the stories about like what we had to go through as kids, like how we had to get to school, we riding the train, what can be done on the train, and like being honest with you, we didn't seen like hood niggas rob people, jump people. We didn't seen like we didn't kind of had to evade so much dangerous stuff, and it's like people enjoy those stories as in like other things. You know, they always want to like
Mhm.
hear how we had to risk our lives or like we had to go through difficult times. And it to me, it is kind of weird because it's like nowadays you only get respected if you struggle. And then that's why people want to go through that because they want to be hardcore like the rappers or something like that. Maybe
I was gonna say that, bro. I think that's another thing that people don't like to talk about. Like niggas don't show no love to the niggas who just grew up fortunate. Like the people who
literally,
grew up fortunate, like I guess, like for some reason there's always a division, but that division not our fault. That's because of, you know, capitalism, poor and rich. So
right.
it's always gonna be division. But like the people who are necessarily fortunate, people be like, oh, look at them. They had a silver spoon their whole life. Shit, I would love to have a silver spoon my whole
Like, there's
life.
nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing
You
wrong with
know,
that.
and I feel like that is the problem why a lot of like, you know, black people legit. No, but you know, it's just what I just realized that, you know, I wish that, you know, I was fortunate to have like, I guess, a silver spoon growing up, because I feel like it'll make shit just way easier for me. I feel like we embrace doing the like living within a struggle too much. But I realize why though. Like these niggas, majority, if you a kid, you know what I mean, you don't necessarily know your situation until like you start seeing other people's situation.
Right.
So like you think shit is normal. You know, like you grew up and had everything, you know, everything was always done for you. You was able to be fortunate to have you know, just everything that you might have wanted, versus once you meet somebody who that shit is completely opposite. Like people only are in my opinion be wanting to have that like kind of lifestyle or want to portray that until they actually meet somebody who lives in it. Because like I said, I don't know too many people who not used to even having their own room, like no space, you know what I mean?
Nah, but then
Like
this is the thing though, right? How you say at times you wish you could have grown up with a silver spoon, but would you have, like, I would say, grown with some of the characteristics that you like learned over the years, right? Because a lot of times by you going through the struggle, you obtain, like, you could be some book smart as well as street smart. A lot of people with silver spoon, they'll never acquire the street smart to go with it. And that's kind of how you can tell who's fraudulent, who's not fraudulent when it comes to like who really went through struggle, who has. But the thing is, I don't think if you had that silver spoon, you would actually learn those characteristics. Or do you think you could?
I don't really think. I mean, I obviously I appreciate him and I value him now because that has been my path. So like, because my path has been a little bit harder, these characteristics are things that have helped me get over the hump a lot of the times. But
Right.
the hump would be a look way differently if I knew what the hell I was doing. I wouldn't have made the same mistakes. You feel me? Like I made way more mistakes because I truly just didn't know any better. And like 9 times out of 10, if I have somebody who, you know, just because they're financially stable don't necessarily mean that your life is better. But like, it's like shit. If I did have,
That's a gem.
if I worry about that part of my life, excuse me, if I had to worry about the finances, I know that I'll be able to be, you know, I just feel like it would be different. Like, yeah, I might not have the street smarts that I have, or I might not be as aware as I am to things, but I wouldn't even be in that environment. You feel me? Like I wouldn't even be in that environment if I come from that. Like one thing I would be comfortable with the fact that I knew that this is not me. Like you're not gonna catch me. Like say if I lived out in deep out Maryland somewhere in a nice house, you ain't gonna catch me in Southeast trying to, you feel me, get into some shit. Stay
Right.
my ass out in Maryland because I know that's what I know, you know. And I feel like that's another thing too. Like my man, he used to always say like, bro, like I I love that that my parents have money.
Yeah.
Like, and I told him, fool, there's nothing wrong with that.
But
Like for
that's somebody
real.
who know their self, because like a lot of people have identity crisis where they're trying to find out who they are, and social media and like I'll say our community play that, because like you say, we always love to struggle. So like if you're a dude growing up in school, the dude who probably got the most girls is the dude who getting in the most trouble, whatever the case is, who
Yeah,
kind
you
of
know, girls like, you know, bad boys or
the
whatever.
bad, yeah, they got their whole little phase. So at that point, as a dude, sometimes you just shift over there because you just trying to find identity. You trying to find out like what's the best like person that can help get me friends, or whatever the case is. Because you see a lot of people
Right.
do that, and that's why a lot of people get caught up in the jam because you're doing shit that's not you, and then it just goes left, and you don't know how to like react to that. But
Mm-hmm.
like you said though, with your man's, he know himself. He don't got to be ashamed that like, yeah, I come from X, Y, and Z,
Why
but I'm not.
not?
I'm
What's
still not
Rogie to
like,
that?
yeah.
What's Rogie to that? Like, what you ashamed for? That's a beautiful thing. Oh,
Just don't. That's the main thing. You gotta know yourself before you even try to like jump out there and try to like do something or be something that you're not. Love yourself, understand where you come from, and don't be ashamed of it. If
You know a theory?
What's up?
My bad. I was saying, you know a theory I got too that like I really just thought about. So
What?
you know why Maryland Hoopers are so good? Like real, like you know how they call like the DMV the hoop area, but
Yeah,
it's really Maryland really run the hoop scene in the area.
for
Like
sure.
they are the real hoopers. But the real reason why I truly believe that if all you gotta do is worry about basketball, now I'm not saying that you don't have problems if you live in Maryland, but if you live in a suburban, 9 times out of 10, you know what I mean, your family's in a better situation than most. So
Correct.
if you can pay for trainers, if you can pay for gym time, I remember like all the guys on my team used to have trainers, like legit trainers. Like they would go, their parents would pay for them to meet them at the gyms, and they would go to training sessions. They would be taking them, and it's like growing up in DC. You know, we
You
don't know
don't
no like
understand
these
that.
niggas ain't getting trainers. Like they hooping at the rec, they learning how to hoop at the rec,
You
and you
feel
know,
me?
like their game is a little bit more raw. But that's why the in my opinion, the Maryland like basketball players are more polished because you just worrying about basketball. You know what I mean? Like
And a lot of
I
them
don't know.
have.
This is a thought.
No, that's a good point, cuz and we can only take it from our viewpoint of like DC because we grown and we lived and we seen how it is, right? DC people or DC athletes focus too much on the image when it gets to a certain point, like a high school, whatever the case is. You focus on a certain image and then you stray away from like the real goal. With them, I I don't gotta prove myself to nobody. Like we all come from like the same background. We all
Mm-hmm.
like are very fortunate than others. So now I'm gonna just do what I love, focus on that, and then see where it take me. With DC, we
Because
always in
look at
competition.
Keon Boyd. You
Yeah,
remember Keon Boyd from HD, one of the top players in the area, was better than a lot of them niggas who he was playing.
no
But he in and
bull,
out the
bull.
streets. You know what I mean? He got to go back to the environment because yeah, he basketball is a joy for him. But like the battles that he facing outside of basketball are bigger than basketball. So it's like he trying to overcome them on top of being he's a number one player, but like you're a number one player, but the money yet. You know what I mean? The money don't come for a minute. Now we seeing that high school players is getting, you know, endorsements and you able to get paid. But at the time in which we talk, he was one
Because
of the best talents I ever seen. It's a shame that he real didn't do nothing, you know what I'm saying, go to college or anything like that.
And I'm glad you said that too, because it ain't just identity, it's just definitely problems too in DC. Because you're gonna have typically, right, at times you're gonna have more problems that you'll face in DC than if you grown up in a suburban area, whatever the case is. Not saying that they don't, but the tendency of having more problems is definitely probably different. But like first, let's roll you to that. Cause that was a good point right there. That's a good point. Them challenges.
That shit hard, bro. Like it's really, and I only reason why I know this because I got a chance to go to Carroll, so like I'm hooping with people who was from up in Marlboro, Bowie, you know, all over PG County. Like these niggas is like that at basketball, but they
Right.
telling me like, fool, we've been having trainers since young niggas. Like we've been in these AAU circuits, we've been in all this shit. Like this ain't nothing new to us, you know, because like damn, like you get to learn about you get to focus on basketball as a youngin. Like you get to just have fun. You don't have to worry about
Man.
eating, you know, like basic necessities to life. And because that's really the hard part. I remember I was like, damn, I just wish somebody would take Keon Boyd and ship his ass to Massachusetts somewhere. Get him just to play ball somewhere else where he could just focus on basketball and you know he's not got to deal with his environment because I remember, bro, when I was I had like 14 and 15-year-olds in this summer camp I was doing. And like I would come in, they would come in, we'll have a great day. You feel me? Like we'll have a great day. We'll go over some stuff. Like I feel like they'll leave with something valuable when they leave, you know, my sessions. But
Right.
then they go back to their neighborhood. You know what I mean? Got to fight with their neighborhood because in their neighborhood, hearing something completely different. In the neighborhood, everything that I'm saying goes out the window. That cooler than me. I'm just your counselor. You feel me? This nigga got on. You know what I mean? This could be the nigga that the whole hood looking up to. So I gotta compete with this nigga. And it's like, damn, even though I want them to get his message, like I can't beat him right now. Like I don't got what he got.
And then you had a good point, right? Because that person at times, like you getting so much love, and they, they could be doing so well, whatever the case is, but their own city or their own hood can betray them as well. And people don't understand that.
Oh my goodness.
People don't
Like
see that. Like you can be the head honcho, you can be that guy around the city. In the moment that somebody like catch you BSing, they want you for what you got, what you worked hard for. They gonna take it away from you, and you would think the city love you, but they never do. So like that's kind of and it relates to like that whole Young Dolph situation. If you look at it,
rest in
right?
peace, Dolph. First thing we gotta say is rest in peace, Dolph, man.
Rogie did that.
Bro, Rogie the Dolph, man. That shit,
God damn for the thing, dog.
it was so unfortunate. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. My biggest Dolph memory is college. Like at them parties, all you heard was 100 shots, get paid, preach. You feel me? Like you hearing them James every single
party faithfully, bro. You gonna hear preach every party, dog. I ain't gonna lie. Especially get paid. But it's like,
but to me, he used to make you feel me? Like he used to make motivational music. Like I ain't gonna hold you.
For sure.
No matter what. Sister said she love you, see it set you up like that.
Please.
Nigga been talking that shit for a minute, dog. Real deal.
Hey,
I mean, honestly, that shit is sad because you died in Memphis.
In your own city. And the thing is, you wouldn't go get cookies for your mother. You feel me? You was just going to get cookies for your mother. The most innocent thing you could ask for somebody to do right now. In real life, they had no cut cars, just walked down and shot them. And this is crazy, bro. Cause you could be doing so well and you could be looking so good. Like you could be that street dude that actually made it, that actually made something of himself. And people would take you away. And it just show you the streets don't even love you. They don't respect the hustle, whatever the case is. If they got an opportunity to take it or get a name for themselves or get some clout, sadly, we in a world where they just do it.
Yeah, bro. I seen that. So many people was like, "Yeah, fool. I ain't gonna lie. I can't believe he died in Memphis. Like that shit just crazy." But to be honest, most rappers or most people with some, they die in their hometown, and it's because like I remember Tupac, like it was a jump when Tupac first got shot. Like I remember he was saying like, yeah, I was riding for black people, like for real. Like what? I ain't walking around with security with black people. I'm doing this for my people. You know what I mean? Like my people gonna love me. Yeah. When he got shot by a black man, he like, damn, like it changed my whole perspective because it's like, I'm thinking you can see that I'm fighting for you, but that's if I care. You know what I mean? Everybody don't fucking care about the cause. Not, a lot of people is for self. And I mean, you're not wrong for that. You don't gotta be, always like, oh, just because Tupac doing it, I gotta do it. But nah, It's like if you do acknowledge a nigga is trying to help out the greater cause, which will be beneficial for you in the end, I wouldn't think that a black person will harm me. But that's just not the reality we in, man.
That's not reality.
Like people really be surprised when like shit down like this, and I just be like, man, it's always a hater, especially in your hometown. Cause you gotta think about it, bro. Like when you make it like Young, even Gotti, Youngster, all these niggas from Memphis, these is like a handful of niggas that we can like say made it.
Right.
But like it's like 1 million people in Memphis. You know what I mean? Like it's 1 million people in Memphis who have not made it. It's 1 million every hometown that ain't making it, that ain't doing shit, ain't having no motion. You feel me? And we ain't saying it to like, I'm not trying to ridicule nobody, but it's just a fact. Like niggas legit be just like mad at the fact that, damn, how can I can't get what they got? I don't know if I'll ever be able to see what these niggas got. And I hate that.
And the thing is, right? And you named all them rappers that we all know that they had like some beef and things of that nature. But my main thing, when you get to a certain level, a certain point of success, all that beef and all that stuff should just be done. It should be squashed at that point. You should just be helping, uplifting each other, making sure that y'all protect each other. Because at the end of the day, just like you said, it's only selected few, a handful of people who made it, and made that successful, why we don't give back and help others be successful? We could build that bridge to help other people like just come up. When instead at times we put out differences, and not saying the murder got something to do with CMG because we don't know why
And we
how it
don't know.
stemmed
Like
from.
we just
Yeah,
know it was a shooting,
but
and he lost his life.
regardless though, it's all very high successful people where they could just help each other, protect each other, and to make a big difference in Memphis instead of like making a big division between the two sides or whatever the case is. I think that's another thing that people gotta understand. Like the image or the views or like the mission, the goal to make sure that we uplift and help out each other is way more bigger than any beef, any like feud that you got going on. Anything is resolvable. Anything is resolvable. I promise you. Like it's and I
Especially
think
too. My
what
bad. I was just gonna say that, like, well, y'all niggas is all up. Like, y'all niggas are all up. Like, you feel me? I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not saying that. Like, I ain't saying letting bygones be bygones all the time. Because sometimes one thing we are. I will say, if that shit personal and it go beyond what it is, I'm not gonna speak on that because if it's
right.
personal, it's personal, which it is with them. So it's like, all right, cool. Like, we don't know the real what's going on behind the scenes. We just know that clearly it got deep. Like, I mean, Young Dolphs. We do know Gotti sent 100 shots. Like, we do know that. We do know that. We do, that is a, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
So let
so
it
we
be
do know
known.
that we do know it's personal. Like, clearly they do not like one another.
Right.
But you know what I mean? I just think that at the end of the day,
He gonna
man,
hold
you
you
can
100
squash that
shots.
shit. You can squash that shit. You know, y'all can all make money. Y'all all doing it. But it just really go back to the point of what I'm saying. Like, let's look back at Nip. Nipsey Hussle legit built he really the community back. Like, he bought his block. Like, he bought, that complex with on Slauson Ave and everything. And he got killed right out front of it. And that's the irony in life. You feel me? I be looking at it because it's like, you'll think, damn, he just did this for Cali. He just did this for all the niggas. Like, bro, a black man owns this. Like, he owns this property. You know what I mean? You should be happy for him. You should be excited. Like, you know what I mean? But everybody don't share the same interests. Like, niggas don't be on the same page. And like, I don't even know what goes through his head. But clearly he can give a fuck about a bigger picture. He had his agenda, in which most people do their own agenda. That's why, in my opinion, I ain't gonna lie, it's not safe to make it and go back to your hometown. I don't think so.
I think
Keep
it's
in
cool.
LA.
I mean, but look, this is the thing. I think you can make it and go back to your city, but I think it's stupid for you to go back to your city and do the same things that you was doing when you wasn't up. So like if you kind of maneuvering and doing things differently, then yeah, I think it could be acceptable, whatever the case is. But like if I'm not going back to the hood, if I'm from the hood and I made it, I'm not going back to the same hood just to go see the same people that's still doing the same shit that when I was broke. Like I definitely had them come out to where I'm at, or I'll go to some of the favorite spots that I'm at, but that's not in the hood. That's not gonna put me in danger. So I don't know. That's how I look
But
at
fool,
it.
he just went to go get cookies. You see what I'm saying? Like, he
Yeah,
went to
but
go
that's what
get
I'm
cookies.
saying. But that was that I don't know if that was in the hood or not. It looked like it was in the hood. But
I
like,
mean, probably, but it's like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, who want to live? Who want to live like I can't move around freely? You see what I'm saying?
I mean, but
That's
at
how
times though, that's what come with the fame. Because even if you in like Cali or you in a different state, you not from there, you really can't move around by yourself neither. Because then something might happen. My thing is, regardless, because that's what come with the fame. At times you can't be by yourself, and then you driving with a camouflage Lamborghini. That don't make it no better. And you going to the hood. Everybody know who drive that, and then you from the city, so they definitely like pocket watching on everything that you're doing. That don't make it no better when you going there dolo in that car in the hood. You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah. It's just, I don't know, bro. It's just like, if I gotta feel like for example, if I was like Chief, like I said, Chief Keef in LA, like Chief Keef probably could go to areas in Chicago and be straight, but it's like it could be that one nigga in his hood who jealous that he can never be Chief Keef. Like real life, like you could have that one nigga in your hood who just plot, like he's just a hater, like legit. It's some niggas who just be hating like shit, and it's like, damn, I'm just so mad at the fact of whatever your circumstances is, because this is the thing, like they put us all against one another because you put a whole bunch of niggas who is struggling in one area, so you put us all in one complex, all in one development and shit, and then it's like survival of the fittest. So
Survivor.
then when you come back, you know what I mean? It's some niggas who gonna be like, damn, like that's a nigga from where we from who made it. I'm happy. At least he represented and putting on for us. It's another nigga in the same hood gonna be like, how the fuck this bitch ass nigga make it and I didn't? I probably could do what he did. I probably could have did this. Seriously though. And it's like those, you know what I mean? Those questions can be avoided, in my opinion, if you leave. Like,
see, but the
I
thing
come back
is,
to
though,
visit. I ain't saying go ahead.
now I was just gonna say, yeah, you can leave, but let's think about it like this. And Pop Smoke, recipes Pop Smoke. He died in a whole different city. Now, the bags and things he probably wasn't thinking when he showed the address.
Come on, I'm about to say, come on now.
That's what I'm saying. That's what come, but again, that's what the fame though. That's just a situation where, like I said, you're not moving correctly. You still maneuvering like you was broke. Cause when you broke, don't nobody care about what the address is, where it's going to, whatever the case is. Now that you rich, everybody want to drop on where you at. And because you out in a different city, you think like, no, they ain't gonna touch, bro. But they ran up on them. And there's certain situations where rappers will go to a different certain city and things, and they get robbed, they get like whooped, whatever the case is. So it's not more so. I still don't think you say now what you're saying is true though, because the same amount of people that's gonna love you in your city is gonna be the same amount of people that hate you as well. And they understand that you come from the same thing, so they want to take from you. But you also gonna have, I don't know, you also gonna have them people in the different cities who gonna feel like, oh, this nigga from such and such, let me try him or let me test him. And we gonna keep, you know what I'm saying? They not built like us.
But see, it's not like Pop Smoke went in the hood and got killed, bro. He was in California.
Very humble.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? That was like, if you going to another place, 9 times out of 10, you ain't going to the hood. Like, you going to an area that is gonna be safe. You don't know where you at, type shit. Like, you ain't gonna just go. Like, a nigga ain't about to move to Chicago and go to O Block. You know what I mean? Like, that's suicide. Like that's
honestly.
burnt. Yeah, you know, you gonna tend to go to a place that's safe. But at home, you know, a lot of this shit though is pride with niggas though. A lot of niggas feel like, nigga, I grew up here. You know what I mean? I grew up here. I could walk around in my city wherever I want. Nigga, this is my city. I grew up here. I'm not about to act scared in my city. And I ain't gonna hold you. I don't think you should act not scared. I don't think you should contemplate, should I go here? Should I go here? I think you should be able to move freely wherever you are. That's where comfortable is. That's why it should be your home. Now, if your home can be like this, like that, then I don't think that should be your home, because wherever you feel like, damn, I gotta carry my dog with me everywhere I go. That's not to me, that's not peaceful. Like, you always,
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, like nowadays in this type of climate, a lot of people feel like that. Like, no matter where you at, like, I gotta carry something with me. Like, I gotta stay protected. Cause right now we in a time period where a lot of shit getting crazy. This I ain't gonna hold you. I know in the past things was already like wild and like really OC, but right now people is really testing the waters. So like I hear a lot of my friends, people telling me like, no matter where I go, I tend to drive because I want to like make sure I got a weapon on me, or like if they flying somewhere and it's somewhere new, they want to see if the guest or whoever they visiting is gonna have like a gun or something just to make sure they safe. So like I don't know, maybe I don't know at that point.
But
You can't call anything home.
here's an example for you. I got right.
Okay.
Did you feel safer in North Carolina or DC?
It's like
Did you feel safer in North Carolina or DC?
it's different perspectives of how I feel safe, but you know, look, I feel safe in DC because I got resources. Like I know if anything happened,
I'm not talking about financial. I'm not talking about financial.
I'm talking about finance. I'm just talking about like if anything happened, like I know where to go, how to handle it, X, Y, and Z. In North Carolina, I feel safe because the people are friendlier. But like if certain stuff goes down, I probably won't know where to go to or how to handle it as fast as I would in DC. So it's like your perspective of how I feel safe, if that makes sense.
Okay, well let me narrow it down then for you. Okay. If you was if do you okay, you feel like something, do you feel like more harm will come to you in DC or in North Carolina? Harm.
I mean, I'd probably say DC because of how tightly everything is in North Carolina.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's my point. So you feel safer in North Carolina and DC, and you from DC. You grew up in DC. You know the ins and outs. You just said you can call, you can do all of, you know what I mean?
But
You
this
can
is the
get shit
thing
done, you
though.
know
This
where
is
to
the
go.
thing. When you go to a certain
You
place,
literally went to North Carolina. This is a new state for you. You not from there. You ain't never been.
right?
You automatically felt
But
safer.
you put up a good point though, right? If I go to Chicago, I'm not gonna go to O Block immediately. So if I'm in North Carolina, of course I'm not gonna go to the hood parts of North Carolina, but that still don't make me as safe.
We was in the hood.
Come on.
They literally listen. They literally told us. They said A&T was in the hood. This is not our words. These are not our words. They said A&T was the hood part of Greensboro for sure.
Come on, fool. Come on, fool.
That's what they said.
All right, bro.
Brody.
Well, damn, that concert gave me. Nah, well, anyway, if that was a hood or not, regardless, in DC, we kind of know what we get ourselves into. So we're not like totally oblivious to North Carolina. You're gonna go to like, even if you're in the hood, you're gonna stay in the best part of the hood, whatever the case is. You're gonna make sure that you're in a good area where you're not harmed. In that case, aren't you oblivious to like what could go on? Because you don't understand the area as well as other people. Or you don't really know.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, I just believe that like ignorance is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes when you don't know what's going on at all, like you're not involved. Like we will move to a new place and it could be some shit going down, but we ain't got nothing to do with it. We get tied to shit being in our hometown. You feel me? Like you get tied to shit. Like niggas could say, "Oh yeah," say your homeboys or whatever was doing some shit, and they know you the main guy. They know that. Oh yeah, y'all two beefing. Somebody might be bold enough to want to take you out off the strength of what happened between y'all two, and you know what I mean? Because you're so accessible, because it's home, because they know where you could potentially be at. It's just scarier.
No, you're right. No.
It's to the point, bro. Like when niggas get up, I don't want people to know my mom lives and stuff like that. Like back home, you know what I mean?
I was big on that. Like I don't care. Like I gotta be really cool, really close with you for you to just come over to my mother's house. Cause like anytime, a lot of people in DC, you don't ever know when they just flip on you, right? Now everybody know your mother
could be
live
like, man, I know where that nigga mother live at. Then I know where he stay, and you thinking like, damn, like what? You know what I mean? Because I ain't gonna hold you, fool. It was my man, rest in peace, Chucky. Love him. But he used to let everybody in his house. And I used to always tell him, like, bro, I just don't think that's safe, you know what I mean? Because everybody just don't need to know where you live. Straight up. Everybody does not need to know where you live. Right. And lo and behold, fool, like I seen him 2 days before he died. 2 days before he died, his house got ran into. I seen the nigga at full time. I was just talking, I'm like, yeah, what's going on? He like, man, fool, niggas just ran in my house, everything. And I'm not trying to be like I told you so. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to be that, especially when your man just went through that. Right. So it's just like, yeah, you know what I mean, bro. You just gotta be careful. Just like stay clear from over there for a little bit. Like go away. Not even go away. Just stay from around where you at. He went back around there, and 2 days later he passed away. And it's like, yeah, a target could have been on his back no matter what, wherever you go. But niggas don't know where you be at if you just a new nigga. Like if you from that area, and 9 times out of 10, people like to tell niggas where they be at, like where they from. Well, I'm from here, Well, I'm from there. I'm from here. And then, okay, well, I'm gonna go here. And then I'm gonna meet you right there, you know, and then
Tell
I'll
you.
meet you right there. Like, it's pretty easy, you know what I mean? Like,
It's,
niggas make it just like so accessible. Like, that shit kill me.
I ain't gonna hold you. And then you drop, and that was a gem right there. I hope y'all really listen to that one right there. Because more of the story, what we all can relate to is literally, let's start moving differently. If you're gonna be in the same environment, be in the city, let's start moving differently. Because even though a lot of people might have love for you, it's gonna be equal amount of people that hate you. So be equal amount of people who want to take what you worked for, what you earned away from you, because they don't think you deserve it. So let's start moving differently. Make sure that we're understanding what we're doing when we posting on social media, when we're moving around, when we're just out and about. Let's just move smart, people. Look, this is a great episode right here, man.
Real
You know,
episode, man. Real
hey,
live, man. People don't want work. Just try to encourage, man. Work, man. Real deal, Rogies, man. Come on, let's Rogie out.
hey,
Boom.
let's go. It's
Can't
deep.
let you in my
Stack,
reason.
man.
Remember as a
And we
child,
out.
I hated Christmas, that's the worst season. The only gift I ever got was freedom. I'm not really worried about my